Welcome to the channel. Today I'm going to tell you about the movie, War of the Worlds, The Attack. The movie begins with a space panorama. The camera is zooming in on the lonely red planet. Suddenly, a rocket launches from Mars, then another, and now the whole armada is approaching Earth. The action is transferred to an ordinary forest. In the middle of the night, three friends, two guys and a girl, ride bicycles through it. They track the destination point on the navigator, where a meteorite allegedly fell. In the process of searching for a celestial body, Herbert notices something strange in the bushes. Abandoning his friends, he goes to have a look. In the forest thicket, he finds nothing, after which he is frightened by the sneaking comrades. The group resumes their search for the space rock, but are interrupted by another revelation from Herbert. He suggests that Martians exist and may organize an invasion, like in an old Tim Burton movie. When the navigator's battery dies, the comrades decide to spend the night at Herbert's place nearby. But it was worth it to go, as in the night shining green, a strange creature with tentacles appears out of nowhere. In the morning, the girl Hannah films Herbert playing a prank on the sleeping Ogilvie. Her mother asks Herbert to visit his relatives, but the young man does not want to communicate with them. Hannah comforts her comrade, who is upset by his quarrel with his mother, after which the guests go downstairs. While eating pancakes, the astronomy students learn that the news has reported that a meteorite has fallen nearby. The excited astronomers jump on their bikes and rush to the scene. Gawkers are already crowded there. They are surrounded by a huge, oddly shaped rock. Hannah suggests going around the impact site and sneaking up behind the meteorite so the police won't drive it away. The students descend into the low-lying area where the space guest lies. Unafraid of radiation, they stretch their knowledge-hungry hands until Ogilvie gets burned. Capturing the meteorite on video, the friends realize it's not a rock. Confirming the hunch, the extraterrestrial boulder is revealed, with an octopus-shaped mutant alien hiding inside. Hannah offers to escape, but Herbert stares mesmerized at the alien until the flaps close. On the way out, the students are caught by a policeman. He leaves the youths to wait for Dr. Stint, their supervisor from the institute. The teacher is not at all surprised that the students are already here. They are always around when all sorts of things fall from space. Herbert expresses concern. It seemed to him that the meteor crew was unfriendly. Suddenly, the space device opens up, and something huge, on three long legs and tentacles, emerges from it. The creature fires a beam of fire, incinerating the panicked humans. The hiding students film the alien walker on camera. As it passes by without them noticing, the astronomers ride their bicycles into town. They spot a trace of black smoke in the sky from another capsule coming in for a landing. At home, the students see Air Force fighter jets heading for the alien visitors. TV shows an expressive man announcing that the rocks from the sky are God's punishment for human sin. Then Dr. Steins explains to the military that it is not necessary to try to make contact with aliens. Specially trained people will take care of it. While trying to contact their kin, the students learn that the connection doesn't work. Herbert assumes that the invaders came from Mars. In this situation, the guys decide to stay at home and drink tea. A few hours later, Hannah notices that someone is hiding in the garden. The creature in the bushes turns out to be a British soldier, artilleryman Ben. He seeks shelter, and Herbert lets him in. The soldier tells him that the aliens have completely defeated the army, pumping whiskey for courage. Ben washes up and explains that he survived only by a miracle. He fell, tripping when the aliens poured an energy beam. The youth wonders if the military situation will be brought under control, but Ben recommends getting far away. Herbert wants to find his mother, suggesting that he use a regular walkie-talkie to communicate. Through them, the artilleryman contacts his superiors, who also recommend leaving, for the space invaders keep landing. Taking a supply of food, the students and the soldiers set off on their bicycles. Noticing fighter jets in the sky, Ben contacts the bunker to inquire about the situation. Things are very bad. The fighting machine is already in the city and is scorching the army with death rays. On the way, they run into a military patrol. Those inform them that civilians are being evacuated and the students should not personally search for relatives. Ben's students arrive at the evacuation base, where a line of survivors has piled up. During the census, it is discovered that the last name is Herbert Wоrlds, which makes him somewhat to blame for what is happening. Ben uses his connections to help get a boat out of the line. On board, the students see a flock of birds soaring over the forest. A Martian tripod appears and begins to attack the humans. The military manages to hit the enemy, but the joy of victory was premature. Another group of alien technology is approaching. The humans flee the battlefield. The machines burn out the tanks before they can fight back. While fleeing, Hannah falls and loses consciousness. She is carried to a safe place in the forest. The girl regains consciousness already in the dark, after which they return to the boat. The boys row towards London. On the way, they see burning cities on the horizon. Exhausted, the astronomers moor to the shore to find shelter. In the woods, they come across the strange man from the report, a priest. He is very pessimistic and calls the invasion the end of the world and God's punishment, from which all men will perish. The Reverend delivers a sermon, causing irritation. Herbert asks for directions, not wanting to get into the theological nuances. The students leave, but the strange holy man, refusing to admit he is crazy, follows, promising salvation to all. Soon they come to a house, inside of which they find abandoned supplies. The owner was clearly in a hurry to leave the place while sharing supplies with the priest and insults him, forcing the man to grab a knife. Herbert rushes at him to disarm him, but the priest, holding the knife to the young man's throat, considers how to proceed, then lets the student go. Ogilvie offers to bolt, but the priest insists on staying. Their fate is not yet decided. The gathering sits awkwardly in silence at the table while the mad preacher lights a candle. He offers Hanny bread, calling her the weaker sex and hinting at repopulating the planet. Such an important endeavor he cannot entrust to an inferior seed. When the second bottle of wine comes to an end, Herbert wonders what prompted the man to depart from Christian principles. In response, the man confesses that he is closer to God now than he has ever been. Going to bed, the priest asks the young people not to disturb him, otherwise he will carve a new commandment on them with a knife. The night passes in anxious anticipation. Herbert gets up for a drink of water. He cautiously approaches him and reaches for the knife, but a sudden noise outside distracts his attention. The students see an alien in the window. The one has passed by, but the danger has not passed. An awakened preacher threatens abroad and threatens the punishments of God. The student asks him to calm down and move away from the window, but the priest is himself and speaks of God's will. The aliens from the machine grab the priest and drag him away. The tentacles return to the house for the rest of their prey, but the students hide, trembling with terror. In the morning, Ben radio calls his friends. They exchange coordinates, after which the youths set off on a further journey. They assume that in this way the aliens are terraforming the planet to suit their alien needs. Once out in the familiar, safe forest, the astronomers notice a signal on a hill, the sun glare. Its source turns out to be an artilleryman named Ben. He is pleased to meet them and leads the friends to their new camp, a lonely structure made of twigs and sticks. Ben tells them that the alien landing continues, with human troops suffering one defeat after another. Army ranks suggest as a plan to go underground and live there. Herbert doesn't like this arrangement. He wants to fight patriotically and fight back against the invaders, despite the fact that even with one priest he couldn't cope. Students wait in the woods while Ogilvie plays with grenades. Hannah cheers up a distraught Herbert. Under the oppression of circumstances, he comes up with a plan to find out why the aliens are abducting people. After encouraging the others to take the gamble, Herbert leads them to the nearest landing point. The aliens roam the streets of London, scorching everything around them with death rays. The group sneaks through the deserted streets, hiding from the invaders' machinery behind monuments. The guerrilla squad sneaks farther and farther away, until they stumble upon one of the landing craft, the ones mistaken for meteorites. A couple of them sneak under the cover of a forested area. They watch the tripods unload something into the mothership, which is full of peculiar eggs around it. Apparently the aliens are nesting. When Hannah reports what she has seen to Ben, the aliens abduct Ogilvie. A soldier rushes to the rescue and opens fire with a pistol on the alien. The mechanism unfolds and pulls the space tentacle towards him. The captured soldier reaches for a grenade and rips out the pin. The explosion rips the tripod tower apart. Losing control, the tentacle drops Ogilvie, who is found by his friends. The three of them run away. The group hides under a bridge, after which Hannah suggests taking refuge in the sewers. The friends argue about how long it will take to hide. Ogilvie doesn't want to rot in the sewers, which leads to a brief argument, but Hannah calms the friends down. Waiting out the night, the students wonder how much the world will change by the time they get out. In the morning, however, not a sound comes from above. The students climb out of the sewer, looking around anxiously. The astronomers find a bush of mysterious red grass that looks like it is about to wither. Nearby, a small mutant octopus like the one inside the meteorite lies motionless on the ground. The friends throw rocks at it before they get closer, and notice the tripod from which the alien fell out before it died. Dr. Stein suddenly appears, accompanied by a military escort. She explains that the alien invader died from Earth viruses and bacteria, which the alien's immune systems were not prepared for. Herbert is called over the radio. The military has rescued his mother and is preparing to send her home. The overjoyed friends get in the car and drive off. A voiceover tells of germs that have inflicted the invading army's defeat on their future offspring in eggs. But a tentacle suddenly erupts from one egg, and that's where the movie ends.